We keep constantly hearing right now that the economy is doing poorly. We are headed for a recession. If we're not in a recession already, there are so many people out there right now that are saying that we are currently in a recession, but the data has not caught up to what reality is. I'll tell you what, guys, I have found one way of determining how things are going with the economy. It's a special indicator that I'll call it the red lock indicator. I've determined this all by myself, and I'm going to tell you guys all about it. I've been seeing a lot more red locks, and I think it has something to do with the economy. Stay tuned, guys. I'm going to tell you all about the red lock indicator. Stay tuned. I'll be right back here in a second. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. You got it. You know who I am. I am Andre Reese.biz. That's right, Andre Reese.biz. One of my favorite things to say in all these videos. Make sure you guys take a second to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to like the video. That way the video has a chance to get out there, and you know how the algorithm works, so the only way that can happen is by subscribing to the channel and liking the video. And most importantly, you guys know that I have a magnificent gift that I was born with. I use it every single day, everywhere I look. Even as I look around in my office right now, I can see business opportunities and tax deductions everywhere. I'm more than happy to share my incredible gift with you. Book a consultation with me, Andre Reese.biz. You can find out all the information on doing that. And I'll be more than happy to help you get a business started. If you're just starting out with a business, not sure what you need to do, I can sit down and talk with you to be able to get you in the correct mindset to be able to minimize your tax bill and maximize your deductions as much as possible, of course. And if you're thinking about, as an individual, you're trying to think about the end of the year coming up here and trying to minimize your tax bill, maybe get an idea of where you may be landing for the year, we can always book a consultation, sit down, and talk about those things. You can always do that stuff through Andre Reese.biz. And finally, like I always say, this conversation we're going to have here is just for educational purposes only. It is never legal advice. It is never financial advice. You can always book a consultation with me, and I can come up with a plan that's designed to work for you based upon the information I get from you. But from this video here, all we're doing is talking about stuff just for educational purposes only. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. So as I said, there is a magical indicator out there that I don't think anybody has noticed that it relates directly to the economy. So here's how it works. As a if you're a person like me that sells online, so I've sold on all the different platforms, Mercari, Poshmark, Amazon, eBay. I'm only down to selling on eBay now. It just works out best for me. And so as when you're dealing with somebody like Amazon, you're doing FBA, all your inventory you have all around you, you can send it in and it'll sit in Amazon's warehouse. They'll do all the pick, pack, pull, and ship for you. But if you're an eBay seller, you typically have your inventory somewhere stored in your house or in your garage, or in my case, I have a storage unit where I keep my merchandise. And so as I sell stuff, I always go to my storage unit and grab merchandise. And when I need to, when I'm listing merchandise, I always bring the merchandise and add it to my storage unit to be able to store it there until the point where it's actually sold. So I go usually a couple times a week. I've got my store set up on 5-day ship, just in case anything happens. I go a minimum of 1 day a week. Generally, I oftentimes go twice a week to my storage unit to be able to pull my eBay sales, and I'll go ahead and gather those and ship them. And so one of the things I've noticed, and since I've been here at the storage unit over the last couple of years, is I'm within the storage unit itself. You can walk around. There's the outside storage units, there's inside storage units, then there's inside upstairs storage units. So the inside upstairs storage unit is where I am. And the reason why I chose that is if you ever go to a storage unit, the ones that are the most accessible that are on the bottom on the outside are always going to be the most expensive. And then you're going to have some internal storage units that work out great, especially in areas when you're out in California and some of the hotter regions. It's nice to have a storage unit that's on the inside of a unit that's protected by the sun. It may or may not be, climate control, whatever it might be. But in my case, they have, at this storage unit, they have the ones that are inside, outside. And then the final one, which is where the deal is, it's upstairs. And so upstairs has a tendency to be a little bit hotter. Heat rises, but you also have to access it through an elevator. And so what they've done is they've taken the time to realize that the market prefers to have stuff that's a lot more accessible. So in order to be able to fill these units up top, of course, what they're going to do, they're going to discount those units. So people that are a little bit more price sensitive, that are using storage units, will go ahead and deal with the pain and anguish of using an elevator in order to be able to save a few dollars per month. So if you save $20 a month, multiply that by 12, that's $240 a year you can save in storage. And then on top of that, if you're looking at, over 10 years, that's $2,400. You can do a lot of things with $2,400 for sure. And so what I have done is I don't mind having a storage unit upstairs. It's not an economic thing for me, where I'm trying to purposely save money. But I figure, based upon, I watched a lot of things that have, apocalyptic stuff on TV, zombies or whatever, or, there's a point where society kind of breaks down. And my mindset is, if somebody needs to get some stuff, they're going to hit the storage units on the outside first. Then they're going to work their way to the storage units on the inside. And then the last ones that are the most inconvenient, they're going to hit the storage units up top. So I figured, if society breaks down for about 24 hours or so, that's just enough time to set up a private security force to protect my stuff upstairs. So I'm not going to risk it, having storage stuff downstairs. But, that's my mindset. It's a lot, even when I've decided to live in, apartments over the years, or if I have a tendency to stay on the upper floors, because I figured if there's ever a situation where theft is involved, they'll go after the ones on the bottom first before they hit the ones up on top. I don't know if that's scientific, if it's ever been proven in a study, but that's just kind of my own personal logic. So as I go up to my storage unit all the time regularly, I'm always looking around to see what is there. And then so what happens is, when you, at the storage unit, you have an option of using 2 locks, yourself, so you can put a little bit extra security. A lot of folks, I probably say half and half, use 1 lock. The other half use 2 locks. So I use 2 locks on all my storage units. And one of the things I've started to notice over the last probably 3 or 4 months is, when things go bad at storage, you guys are all aware of it. At my particular location, if you don't make your payment within 10 days, they will lock you out of accessing your storage unit through the keypad outside. So if you have a 10-day grace period, if that happens, where you, on the 9th day, you turn around and pay your storage unit, there's no late fee, there's no harm, no foul. You can get into the unit, whatever you want to do. But once the 10th day hits, if you haven't paid your storage fee, then they will go ahead and lock you out of the keypad. So what happens is, when you go to your storage unit, and you can't get into the place, but if you decide to piggyback on somebody else and go ahead and go into your storage unit, as soon as you open the door up, the alarm will go off, and it alerts them, so you don't want to kind of be on that end. And there's a certain point where, I don't know if it's 10 days or 15 days or 30 days, where they will go ahead and lock your locker. And so they'll put a second lock on your locker. And what they'll do is, they have these red locks, is what it is. And so what I've been noticing a lot more lately is that a lot of the lockers that are around me, that they're starting to get double locked with red locks. And so you're thinking, oh shoot, these people haven't been paying their payments. No big deal. So what I noticed one day is, I actually went to my unit, and on both sides of me, both of the units were locked red. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? So one happened first. I went the next week, I think it was. The other one got locked. So whatever's going on, those people weren't able to make their payments. And then I kind of walked down to the end of the unit and looked around the corner, and I saw down the hallway, and I saw quite a few other units that were red. And I just said, something's going on. And so when I got to my storage unit today and went and grabbed some items for sale, I noticed quite a few more red locks. And I started to walk the storage units up and down the aisles, and I started noticing a lot of units had red locks on them, which meant that management has formally gone and lockered the locks with their own lock to prevent the folks that own the content inside from actually opening it. and that's kind of the first indication that they're on the path to having their units ultimately lost. And so what I did today was I took the time to kind of walk through and really think about what is happening, what's going on. And the one thing that a lot of people don't realize when it comes to storage, there's folks like me that store their business items there, but I've walked around, there's a lot of folks that have their houses there. They've may have been in an apartment, they may have been evicted, or almost evicted, they may have downsized, they may have be between locations, whatever it might be. But I think a lot of people that are there that I've noticed that have been moving in lately are doing like garbage bag moves where there's no rhyme or reason to them moving. They're just moving stuff. So this stuff is not boxed up. It's just in garbage bags. It's freestanding. So they go and stack all this stuff up inside the storage unit. And if they want to get to something in the back, it's just a mess to try to get to it. So they're more or less just trying to protect and hold their possessions, in one location. And so what I'm assuming here is a lot of those folks are the ones that are starting to get their red locked. And I haven't talked to the people at the management office just to kind of confirm this, but I've noticed that just like I said, from walking around to seeing what people do have in their units, there's a lot of folks that are that have done midnight moves, so to speak. And I think a lot of those folks here are at the point where they may be going through some economic issues, financial, whatever it might be. And this stuff that they have, they've made a decision not to pay it for whatever reason, or they can't pay it. And of course, the unit takes over the lock and they take possession of it. So ultimately what happens is it's sad. So the folks that have, tried to keep their stuff together will ultimately potentially lose their possessions, and if that's the case, somebody else out there that's got a business that's buying storage lockers, for pennies on the dollar, they may be able to dig out some treasures. And you've seen shows on television, based upon this, this particular topic. So, like I said, I think this kind of shows something that's happening with the economy. And what I did is I went ahead and walked through my storage unit. I'll show you guys a video here real quick of me walking through, and there's probably at least I probably say 20 to 30 units that are red locked. I didn't actually count them, but there's quite a few of them that are there. I'll go ahead and roll this video right now for you guys to take a look at and see what I saw. And like I said, I think this is an indication that things are about ready to get really, really bad with the economy, because if the first layer of folks that got pushed out of their homes and they've got their stuff in storage and they're not able to pay those storage units right now because of financial issues, there's still another rippling effect that's going to continue on upward. So I'll go ahead and show you guys this video here real quick, and I'll circle back around in a second and let you guys I'll talk about my final thoughts here on what's going on. And then also too, all these videos are always based upon there is some business opportunity that's going to exist. Like I said, I was born with a magnificent gift. I'm able to see tax deductions and business opportunities everywhere I look, and I will go ahead and talk about those here in a second when I come back. Okay guys, here we go. So I'm walking down one of the aisles here at the storage unit. Like I said, I just noticed this starting to pop up recently, and it's getting heavier and heavier now. You can see there's some down there, kind of, you can't see them in the light, but there's a unit right there that's been taken over by the storage company. So they're all double locked. And it's like I said, and I don't think I showed you guys this one here. There's another one. And if we walk down this aisle here, I'm going to start to see there's one right there. Keep walking. They use a combination of either yellow or red, depending upon what they have in stock at the time. And I'll continue on down this way here. I may cut out
if it starts to get too long, because it seems to be more concentrated in certain areas. I looked down there earlier, I didn't see any. So this is just a yellow lock by itself. That means it's ready to go. So this one here has been taken over by the storage management. This one here is the red one, but that's not one of theirs, I don't think. So still walking down here. I'm just looking side to side. And like I said, I may cut in and out here to kind of speed things up. So this one here is yellow by itself. So let's walk down this aisle here. So I see a yellow one down here. This means it's been taken over. And actually, it looks like red is one of theirs because I see a duplicate. So we did see a red back there, a different type of lock that they converted. Still walking the aisles. There's another one they took over. So there's another one that's a takeover. So, and if I look down there, I don't see anything. We did see that one over there. This one here is yellow, so that one's ready to be rented. And we'll walk down here, see what we see. So like I said, I typically don't see very many units that have the red locks on them. And there's another one right here, not too far from the other one. And I think this is a very powerful economic indicator of what may potentially happen with the economy. Because I think a lot of the people, because I've been here and I've looked in some of these storage lockers, and some folks, actually here's two right here side by side. There's one there. There's another one right there. This is a very wimpy lock, but you gotta use what you got. And I'll go ahead and walk over here. There's another one side by side, two reds. So there's not a lot of yellow locks by themselves, which means that the storage unit is pretty full. There's another red lock right there. And continue down this way here. Okay, still walking. And like I was saying, this is a really good indicator of where the economy may potentially be, because I've looked in a lot of these storage units as I've kind of walked by when people have been here. And there's another one right there. Okay, this one here looks like it's to be rented. There's another one right there. Okay, so I'm getting down here to the end. So to go ahead and kind of finish my thought, I think it's easy to determine. Here's another one right here, red. There's another one over here. This one's red, a takeover. More down here. So, all right, that looks like that's it.
All right, guys, there we go. I just kind of showed you guys what I saw. And like I said, the new indicator of where the economy is at, I'm going to call it the red lock indicator. And as you can see within the storage unit where I store my stuff at, there's a lot of lockers in there that have the red lock on it. So I think it's an idea. And I've never seen it at this level as long as I've been here. I think I've probably been at the storage unit for probably 3 years. So most of the time, the economy has been doing very well until recently. So I think this is kind of just showing you the first level of folks that have, you know, potentially lost their living situation, moved their stuff into the storage unit, and now they are not able to pay to keep their storage unit current. So the management has decided to take over, red lock those lockers, and then if they're not able to stay current or get caught up, they're going to go ahead and auction those storage lockers off. So is it something to be happy and excited about? No, not at all. This can happen to anyone. And I think in life, we should always be sympathetic to anybody that's having to deal with this, but so all I can say is if you guys are starting to notice things happening to folks that don't have as many resources, it's just a matter of time before that starts to spread up the scale to other folks, so it starts at the bottom and it works its way to the top, and it's just kind of the way life is, and that's how these things work. And so sadly, like I said, there always is going to be business opportunities when it comes to these types of things, it is what it is, and so of course, if you ever decide you want to start a business, there's a couple things that you can do around this video here. I think one is a relocation service. It allows you to help folks that are moving out of the house. If you have a van, if you have the ability to pack things up and relocate things, whether it's small items, large items, whole households, there's always going to be an opportunity to be able to move things. And they have a number of different services right now that are similar to Uber, where you can log in and list the type of vehicle you have. You can do small to big jobs. I know recently I had my brother use one of these services himself, and he was very, very happy with it, moving some things for him. So that's definitely something that's available to you guys. Sadly enough, there will be options and opportunities for folks to be able to buy these storage lockers. Sadly, I know personally when I used to go out and do a lot of face-to-face retail, especially at the flea markets, a lot of the folks that were out there, they were buying storage lockers in bulk, and then they were cleaning them out and bringing, salvaging what was worth a lot of money, potentially aggregating things by type to sell off to specific resellers. Then anything else they had left over, they just bring it to the flea market and they dump it out on the ground, literally, and let people walk through and pick through the rubble and buy stuff that they wanted. There's always going to be those opportunities for folks that have the ability to come in with cash, bid, and secure these things. But the difficult part of taking over storage units is that oftentimes there's a lot of stuff that's not worth anything at all. You got to have some way of being able to dispose of the stuff and be able to still be able to make a profit, when it's all said and done. Those are the kind of things that you're going to have to think about here if you decide to start one of these businesses. And of course, I'll just leave it at those two businesses here. And of course, if you decide to go into business, and you're handling and dealing with this type of stuff, vehicle costs are always going to be deductible, gas, insurance for your car. And of course, all the basic stuff like cell phone, internet, home office are all going to be deductible, supplies, that type of stuff as well. And if you decide to join one day, an international association of, salvage storage locker retailers, and they have some type of convention, down in Disney World, you'd be able to fly down there, go to the convention in the evenings, go check out Disney World and hang out there, do some entertainment, socializing, that type of stuff. Then if your trip, if the educational stuff ends on a Friday, you may be able to stay Friday, Saturday, Sunday, fly back on Monday, and be able to pretty much deduct most of the trip as a business expense. So there's always a lot of opportunities for deductions. Like I said, go ahead and contact me, reach out to me through andrereese.biz, and I'll be able to more than happy sit down with you. I'll be more than happy to sit down with you and review the options that are available to you as a potential business owner in any type of business. And that way you can maximize what is available to you and minimize your tax bill, of course, legally. So that's it. I'll go ahead and wrap everything up here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, the red lock indicator is what I've noticed at my storage unit. And there's been a ton of red locks, as you guys can see in the video. Hopefully things will get better sooner for everybody, but I think we're still in for a more bumpy ride. And when things start to hit the folks at the lower ends of society, it's just a matter of time before it starts to bubble up. There's layoffs taking place everywhere right now. People are losing their jobs, so brace for impact, guys. I'm keeping an eye on the red lock indicator. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse than it is. But if it does, I'll be more than happy to report back. If you guys have noticed anything specifically out there on your end that no one's really talking about that may be an indicator to the economy, go ahead and drop that information down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to hear about it. So maybe there's something like the string bean indicator, where you've noticed now that the string beans that used to be in the store all the time when times were good, when you go to the store now, the string beans are always gone because folks are stocking up on canned goods. It can be something, that simple and that silly. So that's it, guys. I'll go ahead and wrap everything up. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Remember, like I said, AndreReese.biz is where you can find out everything you need to know about booking a consultation with me and engaging for the tax season, of course. That's it, guys. I'll go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up one more time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. All right, guys. Peace. Hey guys, thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end of this video. Visit me directly at AndreReese.biz. 4 things to do: like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell. Stay safe, guys. Lift the glass of freedom. Stay woke and don't get TikTok. Take care. I will see you guys in the next video.